Welcome to another episode of Stranded with a Stranger. This is our mid-week episode where you can send in your list to us. Now, if you want to be a part of one of these, then please send in your list of 8 tricks, 1 book and 1 non-magic item to sales@alakazam.co.uk. In the subject line, please put my desert island tricks. That way it comes through to me. We do have another stranded stranger on the island, and his name is Kevin Haggard. So Kevin's given us a little bio about him so we can get to know him a little bit better. So Kevin says, first of all, thank you so much for these podcasts. I learn so much from hearing about other magicians' favourite tricks, and it often leads me down rabbit holes, exploring tricks, videos and books. This is the podcast I always listen to in front of my computer so I can take notes and look up items simultaneously. Listening to others' lists and the rationale for inclusion has made me a better magician by helping me sift through the vast online content to find the best tricks and effects. Concerning my magic practice, after recently retiring from a career in finance in corporate America, I now have the time to dive back into my one greatest passion, magic. My journey into the world of illusion started when I was young, with my dad crafting my first tricks from cardboard. Think magic coin boxes and nails through coins. Although life's demands led me away from magic for a while, I returned with renewed enthusiasm. Being part of my local rings of the International Brotherhood of Magician and the Society of American Magicians, and attending magic conventions has been instrumental to my recent learning and development. What a vibrant and selfless group of individuals in the magic community. So with that, I will head into the first trick on the list. You will see a little trend in my first 2 tricks and the book. Ooh, interesting. I also wonder how many people listen to these and make notes. I did think we might have to get some Stranded with a Stranger / Desert Island Tricks merch. Maybe we need to get some notebooks made. And it's really interesting that Kevin said you will see a little trend in my first 2 tricks and the book. So I wonder if we can work out the book from the first 2 tricks. Maybe that's the game that we should play today. So let's find out what Kevin's list is. In the first position, we have a stacked, marked and corner cut deck. In The Hidden in Plain Sight by Kirk Charles, a marked and stacked deck is referred to as an Ironman. I love this term to describe such a powerful and versatile deck. I use the GT Speed Readers and Butterflies as my marked decks, with Mnemonica as my stack of choice. I also use corner cuts to separate reds and blacks as taught by Asi Wind in his XY deck course, which I believe will be featured in his upcoming Repertoire 2 book. Hopefully very few of my regular audience are reading lists. I wouldn't want to give away my favourite starting deck so easily. This Ironman deck offers many ways to progress through tricks, from stack work to mark deck miracles to XY deck effects. This first trick has so much potential. I could perform a 30-minute show with just this deck. It's more of a tool than a trick. Never underestimate the power of a marked and stacked deck. Miracles await. Wow, what a great choice. The idea of combining different methods and trick decks into one sort of powerhouse deck is such a superb idea. And I believe Repertoire 2 is now on pre-sale at the time of recording this. So if that sounds like something people are into, and it is in Asi's new book, then maybe it's worth checking that out. But it does take us on to number 2. So remember, we're trying to work out his book from this. So far, I'm thinking it might be Repertoire. I'm not sure. Let's go for number 2. So, Awakan by Asi Wind. My second trick is another influence by Asi Wind and incorporates the Mnemonica stack. Asi Wind's Akan, any card at any number, from his book Repertoire, is a brilliant take on the classic trick. Once you've mastered the move, it leaves audiences in awe, and the patter can go in so many directions. His performance of this on YouTube is a great starting point. The trick builds on the Mnemonica stack I've already committed to memory, making it an excellent extension of the skill. Almost all the decks I carry are set up for this trick as soon as they come out of my pocket. On a side note, he's one of my favourite magicians, and I'm thrilled to be heading to London soon to see his new show. Again, I think we're seeing an Asi Wind trend here, so I'm still going with, at the moment, I'm still going with Repertoire as your book. Asi's show is great. If you get the chance to see it, it's in a wonderful theatre in London at the moment. It incorporates some lovely effects in there, a great closing effect as well. I really loved a moment in it with some bells as well, which I'm not going to give too much away in case you haven't seen it, but it's a great show and a great second choice. So let's move on to Kevin's third choice, which is Venom Cube by Henry Harrius. I've always been captivated by Rubik's Cubes. As a kid, I spent countless hours trying to get my solve times below a minute. Naturally, when I got back into Magic, I was thrilled to discover so many Rubik's Cubes effects, and I immediately started performing a few. Venom Cubes in particular is a fantastic effect where the audience gets to mix the cube, eventually leading to an unbelievable reveal. On a recent trip to Japan, I met Henry Harrius, the creator of Venom Cube, at the Half Moon Magic Bar in Tokyo, a highly recommended place. He graciously answered a few questions about my execution and offered some pointers on angles. Having the inventor himself provide tips was an invaluable experience. Again, a great choice. Venom Cubes is a superb effect. Definitely one of the cleanest cube match effects. And I literally had a conversation with Pete last week about cube magic and how at a restaurant, when you do a gig, it never ever fails to get a round of applause. And normally it's just at the stage of solving a cube. So solving a cube in front of an audience, normally they're bowled over by that. So of course, when you are then doing instant solves behind your back, etc., the expectation they just cannot fathom what's going to happen because of course they think that you've already peaked just by solving the cube. So cube magic is a really great skill to learn and a great skill to have in your arsenal, really. But it does bring us to a number 4, which is C3 by R. Paul Wilson. This is my favourite cold deck trick when handed a deck of cards. Created by R. Paul Wilson and performed by Shinlim on America's Got Talent, it's got so many steps that even seasoned magicians can't figure out the final matching effect. R. Paul Wilson is just an incredible performer. We are so lucky to have him in our industry. All of his tricks are so well thought through, so well executed and considered. And C3 is no different. It's a wonderful, wonderful trick. And a great one, like you say, just handed a deck of cards and going into it. So that brings us to number 5, which is Crazy Town by David Regal. David Regal's effect is perfect for a group, with the premise that the magician is taking the audience to Crazy Town. It's packed with entertaining elements that make me laugh. Whether from the inner workings of the trick or his suggested patter, the audience never sees the ending coming, and the multiple phases build on each other brilliantly. While it's not entirely self-working, requiring some sleight of hand, the payoff is worth the practice. Again, David Regal, all of the names that you have in your list so far, they're all superb creators. Asi Wind, Henry Harrius, R. Paul Wilson, and now David Regal. These effects are obviously superb because the people creating them are at the top of their game. And it brings us to number 6. So let's play Kevin Bingo. Where do we think he's going to go? We've got 3 more tricks. I think we've guessed the book. I'm still sticking with the book, but what do you think's going in his 6th position? He's gone for Envelope Opener by Blake Voigt. Blake Voigt makes me laugh with his inventive tricks. He advertises the envelope opener as a chance to ask 3 questions and tell the same 3 jokes every time. And the same jokes make me laugh every time. He's visual, funny, and can play to a small group or a large room. I love the simplicity of this effect, and it gets the audience on your side early. Blake Voigt is excellent. If you don't follow his Instagram, I highly recommend it because he puts some really quirky videos up. Quite often it's just him in a hotel room. He sees something strange like, I don't know, a shower curtain or just something bizarre, and he'll create a brilliant trick out of it. So it's a great choice. Number 7, so we're on the tail end of Kevin's list now. Number 7 is Inject 2 by Greg Rostami. I'm pulling a clever trick to get an iPhone onto the desert island because I will need one to run the Inject app. I hesitate to call Inject just an app. It's more of a versatile tool that lets you perform numerous effects with a borrowed iPhone. A favourite of mine is All Cards Match, which also leverages the Mnemonica stack. While there's a bit of a learning curve, I'm still mastering it. The active Facebook group is incredibly supportive. I was also tempted to put DFB or Earworm on the list to get the iPhone to the desert island, but ultimately settled on Inject. Absolutely great choice. I think we've had Inject before, either on the main podcast or Stranded with a Stranger. It really is a phenomenal app, and it's one that I think people get a little bit scared. I know a lot of performers who have the app on their phone have never used it because they just do not know where to start. The truth is, it's a lot simpler than you might think. If you talk to someone who already performs with Inject, it's a lot easier to get your head around. I've taken quite a few people through a presentation that I use it for, but it is a phenomenal tool. And you're absolutely right, Kevin. It is a tool. It's a complete mini studio, Magic Studio on your iPhone. It's great. But it does bring us onto your final choice, which is Tornado by Justin Flom and Rick Lax. For my final trick, I embrace simplicity. Sometimes it's nice not to use a full deck, and this trick requires just 2 cards. I love having 2 cards in my jacket pocket ready for an impromptu performance. I discovered this trick at Tannen's in New York, where the co-inventor Justin Flom was visiting the store. He performed it for us, starting by pulling 2 cards out of his wallet. The simplicity and fun method of this trick captivated me. A great choice to close in, and you're right, that just those 2 cards in your wallet, it's a great trick, and it happens all in the spectator's hands. So looking back at your list is a great deal of superb effects. So obviously at the very beginning we had the stack marked corner cut deck, which was referenced as the Ironman deck. We've got Awakan by Asi Wind, Venom Cubes by Henry Harrier, C3 by R. Paul Wilson, Crazy Town by David Regal, Envelope Opener by Blake Voigt, Inject 2 by Greg Rostami, and Tornado by Justin Flom. So, now we get on to the one that we've been thinking. Are you guys with me? So Kevin, at the very beginning, said that we may see a trend. He said, you will see a little trend in my first 2 tricks and the book. The first 2 tricks were both Asi Wind tricks. So my guess is going to be a repertoire. I'll be interested to see what you guys think. Do you have a different thought about what it could be? So I'm going to scroll down now. I was wrong. My book choice is Mnemonica by Duane Tamariz. I've always been a numbers guy, and I enjoy the math involved in stack work. When I got back into Magic as an adult, this was the first book I brought. Stacks are miracle workers, different from sleight of hand, but I put performances by Duane Tamariz up against anyone's in terms of entertainment. My personal goal is to learn 10% of what's in Mnemonica. I keep it on my bedside table and often pick it up to explore a random trick, thinking about how to execute it. Seeing Duane perform in person is at the top of my Magic bucket list. I might just have to head to Spain soon. So, I guess we should have seen the trend there, because you did actually mention it again in Inject 2. You mentioned that there is an effect that leverages Mnemonica. So, there was the trend was extended past your first 2 tricks as well. But a great choice. We've had Mnemonica before. We will have it again. It's a superb choice. Now, we are going to go to your curveball item. So for Kevin's curveball, he has said, for the final item, here's my unique twist on the non-magic item. I will pack a spare change of clothes for the desert island that I can put on when performing. Not only will this keep me from wearing the same smelly outfit when it's time to perform, but having a sports coat with sleeves and pockets will add a touch of style and practicality. I can carry my tricks and keep a few things up my sleeve. Talk about staying fresh and being prepared for impromptu magic shows on the island. Great choice. We've had a few people mention that they would take clothes, that it makes them feel like a performer, and when they put on their outfit, whatever it may be, that is the moment they become a magician. So that's a wonderful list. Thank you, Kevin, for sending in your list and sharing your ideas and your thoughts with us. Of course, Kevin Haggard, you are no longer a stranger to us. We know everything we need to know about you. So once again, if you guys want to have your list read out, please send your list of 8 tricks, 1 book and 1 non-magic item to sales@alakazam.co.uk. In the subject line, put my desert island list. That way it comes through to me and we can get one of these recorded for you. So we'll be back again this Friday with another episode of Desert Island Tricks. So for now, have a great week.
When I perform at gigs, I look at effects that tick these 3 boxes. Is it super strong and powerful? Yes. Will it last with your spectators for a lifetime? Absolutely. And does it leave them with a souvenir that perfectly captures the moment of magic? If that all sounds exactly what you're after, look no further than the liquid forks. These forks have been custom designed to be able to bend right in front of your spectators' eyes. It's so easy to perform, it's so visual, and trust me, they will honestly keep this impossible object because they've seen it morph in front of their eyes. It literally does the impossible. Not only that, Liquid Forks comes with 50 of these forks in each pack, and it comes with the full Liquid Forks routine taught by the world famous David Penn. Not only that, we have a subscription service. If you guys love these forks and you get through them at your gigs, we now offer a monthly subscription where you get sent a box through every single month at a 10% reduced fee. Like I said, you guys are going to be loving these. You're going to be performing them every chance you can. Trust me, the reactions are second to none. So guys, head over to alakazam.co.uk, pick up a set of liquid forks. You will not regret it. Easy to do. Leaves them with a killer souvenir. And to be honest with you, it's not cards, it's not coins, it's not mentalism. It's something beyond belief. Check it out now, guys, the liquid forks.